The holidays are a time for giving thanks and reflection. As I reflect on my gaming life, one thing stood out to me. I love Mega Man. Mega Man X is one of my favorite games of all time. I have a video up on that game, so please go check it out after this video. It's been a long time coming, but I finally played Mega Man X2. It's a fun game that is tough, colorful, and a worthy successor to Mega Man X. Let's get into it. Part of the fun with any Mega Man game is figuring out the boss order. As a kid, I didn't have the internet to tell me what to do, so I wanted to figure out this puzzle on my own. I doubt I went in the correct order. I went through different stages, and after a lot of trial and error, I was able to take down my first boss and get my first power-up. Like in previous iterations, you get a specific power-up that a different boss is weak to. I still found myself dying a lot. New stages with different traps, enemies, and secrets to find led me into an almost trance-like state. I tried to find every secret. I ended up with all the heart upgrades and 3 out of the 4 E-tanks, and those saved my ass more than once. As you traverse the different levels, a catchy track plays in the background and will probably be stuck in your head for days. Although I must admit I was a little disappointed in the music. There are some standouts, but for the most part, the music was a little generic, especially compared to Mega Man X's classic soundtrack. I understand everyone will have a different opinion on something so subjective, so please let me know down in the comments which X game has your favorite soundtrack. Two of my favorite additions to this game are the Buster upgrade, allowing you to charge up 2 shots and fire them consecutively, and the Dash boots. You start with your normal dash, but once you get the upgrade, you can dash in mid-air. This opens up traversal, combat, and allows you to find more secret areas hidden throughout the levels. I wasn't expecting something like that, so it came as quite a surprise. It makes me excited to try X3 and see what the developers came up with for that game. The bosses were a little bit of a letdown for me. They were decently fun fights, but the actual characters were just not that memorable. I could rattle off all of the bosses in the first game. Those characters are extremely memorable and have really cool designs. Now, that could be because I've played that game a million times and it's from my childhood, but something tells me I'm not alone here. So please let me know if you feel the same way or if your opinion is different. I also wasn't too hot on how they handled the refights either. You're in a room with 8 teleporters and each one takes you to a different boss. It's simple and a callback to other Mega Man games, but I prefer how X does it. You truly feel like you're infiltrating Sigma's base, climbing up a mountainside, blasting your way through hordes of enemies, and eventually running into a boss door and having an epic rematch. These rooms are woven into the fortress and the path you take. It's a really cool spin on what is a classic Mega Man trope. I would love to see more of that in future games. It truly feels natural in the way the game progresses. Lastly, I'll touch on the story. It's a direct continuation of the first game. You're trying to find Zero and resurrect him, all the while being hunted by the robot masters. Eventually, you reach Sigma's fortress, make your way through, and in an emotional gut punch of a twist, you have to take on Zero before ultimately defeating Sigma. It's a tough battle that is pretty unforgiving should you die at any point during the fight. I thought the level design leading up to Sigma, and not just his fortress, but also the other robot masters, were a little subpar. There wasn't really any standout level that I can think of that in 5 years I'll be thinking of, whereas with Mega Man X, there are plenty of levels in that game that I constantly think of. So that was another little bit of a letdown for me, but maybe that's just this game. I don't know if it gets better in more games going forward, or if that's kind of the standard moving forward. Overall, this game is a worthy follow-up. It may have some flaws that hold it back from being one of the greats, but what is there is a fun, challenging platformer that is worth your time. It has some fun power-ups, and it made me excited to see what else is in store for X and the gang in the next entries. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please go like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for alerts so you never miss another video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.